Chief here, and I have another thought. So today, I was thinking about accountability. And just being accountable to myself, but most often how, I'd like to speak on grander societal narratives, I think, and just my interpretation of what's going on a lot in society, which may be, bastardized or whatever, but it is what it is. But accountability, not necessarily, just in not only in myself, but in society, and how it's actually being, destroyed and eroded for very insidious reasons. People are being told not to be accountable for their actions and their decisions, and that somebody else, mainly an authority figure, should be able to fix the problems that they are creating because they weren't accountable to who they are, and their actions. I understand that too, especially being someone who is who's very verbose but very brash and very harsh sometimes. Especially since I speak so matter-of-factly and I deduce things, and I this is my way of trying to be more explanative and not, this is my accountability to myself. But, society's being told not to be accountable so that we appeal to authority, so that the authority figures extract more resources from us to solve our problems. In a society that's more accountable for everything, for what we put in our bodies, for what we purchase, for what we wear, for our actions, how we treat our neighbors, how we don't, more accountability for the ideologies that we personally hold, and that maybe the ideology around our neighbors. And that's one thing why I think I believe in certain segregation, because I don't think that people should have to be forced to believe like some overarching ideology that for some reason, all people on the planet must adhere to, even though we all come from different backgrounds and histories and things of that nature, or else they're like the most awful person on the planet. And that's oftentimes because, and then these people don't realize that no one's really trying to hear your narrative just because they know it's a narrative. They have their own thought processes. They're holding themselves accountable to their own histories and their own thought processes, and they don't have time to validate yours. And they see that you're not being accountable for a lot of things in your communities, and it's affecting us. Like in the Black community, we have to necessarily start being accountable. For example, I'll use this, and I don't give a fuck if people call me a coon or whatever. Like Jacob Blake, for example. Or not Jacob Blake, the brother in Atlanta where they burned down the Wendy's. I'm sorry if I forgot his name. But the situation just didn't seem like he was unaccountable. That dude fell asleep in a driveway drunk. In our community, if he fucking killed a little kid or somebody was driving and he fucking fucked up because he was unaccountable and doing stupid shit, preventable things like that, that's preventable. Or like, why do neighborhoods have? If he would have killed a kid, nobody would hold him accountable, or except for the justice system, not our community, for that fucking poor behavior that got his ass killed. And he was, that's that type of situation, and how we can graft ourselves onto those situations and try to make movements on it. It just proves to me that either it's not us who's riling up people to do this bullshit, or we just have to be more accountable. Because a lot of these situations are preventable, and it's not any, they may be indicative of a racist person on the police force who have infiltrated police, and that goes into police accountability. They're absolutely not being accountable for their poor people, for their fucking assholes. So they not being accountable means we shouldn't. That goes back there to different issues. We have to get back to a certain moral structure, I think. Because even though I engage in vices too, and I drink, and I did drink, and I drink, whatever. But, I'd never drink and drive. That's one thing that I ensure, especially in this society where we don't have to do that. That is absolute just foolishness, And like, for example, like trash in our neighborhoods, any neighborhood. And I think littering is not just a poor people phenomenon. Like in LA, you see fucking, what the fuck is that? Sorry. In LA, you see fucking people in Ferraris and fucking Benzes and shit throwing trash on the fucking highway. So that contributes to litter. But at the same time, man, we cannot say that just because we live in a poor neighborhood that there should be trash on the fucking ground. That is absolutely mindset. And that's not holding yourself accountable for the things that you purchase in the store. You buy something in the store, you drink the drink, you eat the chips, and you just fucking throw the shit on the ground. You throw the fucking McDonald's bag out the window. Why? Why aren't you accountable for the waste? For your own waste. That's your waste. You're accountable for that. And you should carry that shit in your car to a fucking trash can. At your place of business, at your, home, or if you're going back to work from lunch break, put that shit away. Put that shit in the trash in its proper place. Recycle it, whatever the fuck you want to do with it. But don't put it on the damn street. Because we're not being accountable for the simple things in society. And that's causing big problems. But, I just want to speak, briefly about accountability. Because it's also trying to hold myself. Because if I voice these concerns, maybe I'll start holding myself more accountable. Like I have to hold myself accountable to my views. I have to hold myself accountable to my actions mostly. Because my views should definitely influence my actions. But I must also understand that I have to have temperance and prudence and understand like my views cannot influence my actions negatively or badly. Anyways, I'm always worried about this stuff making sense. But, I think it does. But anywho, just make sure that you're trying to be accountable. And understand that I just think about situations because I think about things from all angles. And I'm like, if we behave differently, we can save ourselves. And as black people, we understand that we can be the most upright person. We can be fucking, Mr. Goody Two Shoes and, some motherfucking cop or some, assailant may come fuck us up. Somebody from the system that we live in may accost us. But, we also must understand that we have a lot of accosting in our community. And the fact that people poo-poo this, and I know there's organizations helping us out do this, but we need a grander accountability for this shit because a lot of this stuff can be avoided, I believe. And the fact that we're not trying to do that and we're just relying upon a system that has never ever proven to be accountable for its actions against us. They're not accountable. It's up to us to be accountable. Because I bet you if we had a better station and we were more accountable for our actions, when somebody comes to our community and attempts to accost us or attack us, our own accountability will handle that situation and it won't depend upon another group of people or institution that we all agree about it, has no accountability. We will handle it. Maybe that's a pipe dream and that's the wish. But I feel like all of our master teachers have also said that. But, you're a coon ass nigga these days if you don't believe in the Marxist narrative. Anywho, that's my thought of the day.